Hey everyone. Well, it's whatever it takes Wednesday, as I like to say. I like to dedicate a day to the philosophy of whatever it takes. Now, obviously, it's wise and good for us to do whatever it takes every day. However, I was inspired to dedicate Wednesdays as a whatever it takes day. And part of the reason too was I disagreed with the hump day philosophy. And I disagreed with that because I feel that that's kind of in the category of going through the motion. Now it's cute and all, and uh, I, I'm struggling to think what the name of the company was because I don't watch TV on a regular basis. I do like to, watch some sports or I'll maybe watch a movie or something with my kids. But on a regular basis, I do not watch the news and I do not watch TV. But the I'm trying to think of the company. I don't know if it was Progressive or if it was an insurance company. I don't remember, but the one that had the camel in the commercial. I'm sure some of you, if you're watching this, please put it in the comments because now I'm curious. Now I'm thinking, what was the name of the company? But regardless, it was that commercial. There was a camel in there, and they were talking about hump day. Okay, well, I respectfully don't buy into the whole hump day thing. I never did because of the fact that, to me, that's just kind of, to me, and this is just my opinion and what I teach, but I feel like hump day is just going through the motions, not really doing whatever it takes, but just going through the motions and, hoping and wishing that Friday's here. Look, if anyone's listening to this and you just want to do the minimum, then you're probably not going to buy into this whole whatever it takes philosophy, right? It as a matter of fact, I don't believe it would serve you well. If you're looking to just do the minimum to stay status quo, then this is probably not going to be something that you'd be interested in. But for those of you who are looking to get from where you are to where you want to be, if you don't already have this philosophy as part of your operating uh, modality, so to speak, then you may want to consider it. And I was inspired to come up with this because one of my great mentors would answer questions, and many of you have heard the story. I'm not going to go into the great detail because I want to be very specific about what we're covering today and mindful of your time. If you are listening, thank you for listening. If you are here live, thank you for being live. But my main goal of this is to inspire you to get clear on maybe what is it going to take to get you from where you are to where you want to be. What does doing whatever it take really mean? So in order to help you with that, one of my great mentors would have group calls and we would ask situational questions. So we may, maybe we ask him, okay, well, we have this potential client. We've met with them. We've had a discovery call, then we had a follow up, but they still wouldn't commit. So he would always give us some actionable advice. But then what I noticed after working with him is he would often end the actionable advice before we went on to the next question. He would often end that with, or whatever it takes. Or he may say something like, and make sure you do whatever it takes. And so it took me a while to get on to what that meant, and I didn't really understand exactly what that meant. So that's why when I speak about this, I'd like to give some specific examples or have people put some examples in chat and in the comments, and then I will certainly check the post and be happy to give you any of my insights or answer any questions. But mastering the whatever it takes philosophy really does require you, like many other things that we talk about, to do it, to be able to master it. Okay. Nike is not one of the marketing geniuses for, uh, just by default. Nike is a marketing genius because they came up with that tagline, just do it. And in order to get good at anything, we have to learn by doing it. In my particular area of expertise, I'm helping people. I help my clients to be heard and to get seen and to earn more revenue and recognition. But I do that by teaching them actionable steps with sales. I do that by teaching them actionable steps if they're looking to coach people. How do they enroll clients? And so doing whatever it takes is going to look differently from each one of our lenses, right? Of course, if we're all coming together as coaches, then we would have some collective coach lenses, right? If we're all coming together with sales goals, whether it be for an organization, whether it be for a corporation, or perhaps it is you looking to enroll clients into your coaching practice so you can scale to 20, 30, 40K and beyond, up through 100K and beyond per month. Whatever the case is, doing whatever it takes is, like I said, going to look a little bit differently for everyone, with the exception of, like, collectively, like I said, we may be looking through the same lens if we're delivering the same services. But it is a learn by doing. So a lot of it is trial and error. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, A/B testing, but we have to figure out what it's going to take. You know, if we truly believe that that is a good client and we truly believe we can help them, and this is just, obviously we have to factor in the KPIs, but I like to look at it before I would bring anyone on as a client is it truly a win-win-win? Meaning, is it a win for the client if we work together? And I'm coaching them, or I'm helping them build out a sales team? Is it a win for me and my company? Meaning, it's an ideal client type. It's something that we do. We can help them. And then, is it a win for all the people that would benefit from the client and my company working together? I like to look at it that way because obviously, if we are helping a client, then it's like the ripple effect, right? Because then that client is helping to serve either their clients or their customers, depending on what industry they're in, right? So, even though it's going to look a little bit differently than everyone, we must do and we must take chances and we must be committed to doing whatever it takes so we can get to where we want to be, or get to where we want our company to be. Because I find too many times people stall. They may not want to stall, but they may think they have legitimate reasons to procrastinate. They may think that they were given permission to procrastinate. Uh, I'm not giving anybody permission to procrastinate because you have to learn by doing, and thinking about it does not count. I know there are studies, I've even seen and read studies where basketball players can, besides the time on the court, can maybe play a game, or they can, think through in their head, or they can draw out some things in the plays and everything. But let's face it, there has to be some actual hands on doing the coaching, doing the sales, and you will know what it's going to take the more clients that you enroll or onboard, however your process is, you will know. But you will not know that because someone told you what their experience was. You can all use that. You can factor that in. You can listen to stories that I've told and you can factor that in. But as it pertains to you and your company and your goals, you have to do the work, or you have to have someone on your team doing the work so that you can actually experience it, so that you can actually get good at doing whatever it takes. So again, I don't buy into this whole hump day because I feel like it's not intentional enough. I feel it's for the people that are just looking to do their time. They're looking for status quo. They're not looking to do anything extra. If you want to get to where you want to be and you are committed, then inevitably you are going to have to learn to do whatever it takes. The opposite of that, as I said about, the hump day, just kind of getting over it, wishing for Friday or hoping for Friday. And please don't misinterpret that. There is nothing at all wrong with that. If that is where you are in your journey, then that is where you're supposed to be. But if you're looking for something more, or you're looking for a push to be able to really be committed and like, I'm doing this no matter what, then you need to consider adopting the whatever it takes philosophy, and not just on Wednesdays. I like to start it on Wednesdays. That's the day that I dedicate it to. But obviously, we should be showing up and doing whatever it takes every day of the week, because truly that is what it takes. And we get really good at this the more that we do it. So we're not wasting time, of course, but we don't know until we try. So for the people that are just absolutely fine with status quo, that are absolutely fine with just doing the minimum, that is where they're supposed to be. However, if you are looking to get somewhere else, then you need to think about the whatever it takes philosophy and adapting that into your life and being committed to it, sharing that with your team so that your team, you may want to have that as a principle with hiring. I have never found a better criteria than the Nordstrom way. Not only is Nordstrom my favorite store, but it's also, I admire them because of how they hire their employees. The Nordstrom way, if you're not familiar with it, is they have their values and their mission, and they like to hire the people that will go above and beyond. And they don't settle for people that won't go above and beyond. Okay, so their personality testing, their questions, all geared toward their mission and principles. And one of those, of course, is going above and beyond. And how smart that is, because if they hire people that are willing and able to go above and beyond, then they will only get better as they adopt the Nordstrom culture and working with the team, other team members that are willing to go above and beyond. So it's the same principle that I have with whatever it takes. I prefer to have people on my team. I look for people on my team that are good problem solvers. I look for people to join my team that are willing to do whatever it takes to solve those problems, those challenges that come up. Because, we work with technology, and there are always going to be some challenges and some unexpected things come up. Whether it has to do with Wi-Fi, it has to do with a particular app, it doesn't matter. But there are going to be those challenges and those problems. I want the people that are the problem solvers that really, like, it lights them up to be able to detect or have a problem and to solve it. I'm not looking for people to join our team who are just trying to get by, right? Just trying to do the minimum. That's not what would be compatible, and they wouldn't thrive. I mean, I think that when people join our team, they have to be all in, yes, but they would probably feel overwhelmed if they really didn't buy into that, whatever it takes. If they were just kind of looking to get by, to coast, to do the minimum, it would be overwhelming for them. It could be overstimulating for them. So I prefer to have the people on my team who are the ones that are doing, willing to do whatever it takes. And very similar to the Nordstrom way, I love the people that are willing to go above and beyond. That does not mean going off of the statement of work and the deliverables and doing all these things that weren't listed on there. That's not what I'm talking about. There are plenty of other ways that we can go above and beyond and demonstrate that capacity to our clients without getting distracted or without losing focus. So think about, how does that pertain to your business? How does that pertain to your team? Do you like the whatever it takes philosophy? Or maybe that's something that you would say, just like, I don't agree with the hump, hump day week, or whatever that is, hump day. Uh, I don't agree with that. Maybe you don't agree with whatever it takes. I'd love to know why. And maybe it just doesn't serve you, and that's fine. And we can agree to disagree, because I'm not here to banter back and forth. But for the ones that are willing to embrace it, I'd love to know why. And how would you teach that, or how do you demonstrate that to your teams? Because, like I said, I like to use it. It's definitely something that I talk about in interviews, and really just in the interaction with people, with potential independent contractors or potential team members. You can tell the ones that are willing to do whatever it takes. It becomes quite apparent if you're looking for that. Okay, so what does this really mean to you? Well, if you are looking to really adopt that whatever it takes philosophy, then, like I said, it is a learn by doing. So, trying to figure out, if you're, as an example, if you're looking to onboard more clients, then getting super clear on which lead sources you're going to use and what is the strategy for each lead source. I just did this on a client call today. We made a list. We had like 18 different lead sources. And then I had one of the participants choose the top three. It was totally up to his prerogative, but to choose the top three and to rank them one, two, three. Because in today's world, whether you're building an e-commerce brand, or you're building an online information, a coaching business, you're building a SaaS company, we have to be super specific on which lead sources we're using and why, and also being specific on, you know, is there a cost to the lead source or is there no cost to the lead source? Like, that's super important. And, if you have not, if you don't have a proof of concept, or, you know, depending on what you're offering, with your services, then, organic would be the way for you to go, organic lead sources, until you have that proof of concept and you have that conversion. Then, of course, then you can look at paying, at the ad spend. I was just talking to someone earlier today, and their organization budget is, he's in the online coaching space, and their monthly ad spend is $310,000. But that is because they have a system, they have multiple offerings, and they have the proof of concept along with, what's working. That's really what it comes down to. So then when they spend the $310,000 on their ads, they are able to really, penetrate the market, make those dollars work for them, and make sure that they're not only just attracting new clients, but they're doing the retargeting with the ones that have looked at them, or maybe they had been past clients, whatever the case is. But, with, you can't just, it's not advisable to throw that money around without having a proof of concept or some way, that you consistently convert clients. In other words, figuring out what works first before you scale, which is super important. And you can scale by doing the paid advertising. Now, obviously, no one needs to start at that $310,000. You can start smaller, but even any kind of paid, it can be more of like a losing proposition, right? If you don't have the proof of concept, then it's not always advisable. I personally don't advise this. It's not advisable to just start throwing money at something that we don't even know what works yet, what works. So let me know what your thought is as far as, whatever it takes. Do you buy into that philosophy, or do you prefer to look at Wednesdays as hump day? It's closer to Friday. Just love to kind of know where you are with that. And if you do buy into the whatever it takes philosophy, was this at all helpful for you to figure out, or to maybe boost your confidence a little bit, to say, hey, I'm going to make this work. I am going to commit to getting, 5 new clients by the end of September, or I am going to commit to launching this new offer by the end of October. Whatever the case is, committing to it and considering saying, whatever it takes, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I don't know. A lot of times when we say that, we don't know what it takes, right? But we have to start trying a few different scenarios, so that we can learn what it is going to take. And of course, just like social media platforms and algorithms, they're always changing. The world is always spinning. So I would encourage you to be okay with that, to be okay with change. Not always easy. A lot of us are resistant to change. I know I was one of those people that didn't like change, but then I realized and I learned when I started with AT&T. I had one of my mentors there tell me that the only thing constant is change. And when you think about it, that's absolutely true. And that's really what got me more amenable to change. You know, at that young part of my career, I was thinking, well, I learned this process. Why is it going to change? But then, like I said, one of my mentors taught me that and reminded me the only thing constant is change. And, you know, the world is always spinning. So, and that's a good thing. And we are always learning and we are always evolving and we are not the same person that we were yesterday. I believe those are all great things because uh, everything happens for a reason. And it's truly up to you how you approach things. There is no right or wrong. Certainly, I am not here to tell you that if you believe and you want to look at Wednesday as hump day, then you're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't agree with that. So you figure out what you agree with. And if you are trying to figure out, the whatever it takes philosophy, then, put your ideas in the comments. I'd love to know, where you stand. If you look at those two things, the hump day versus the whatever it takes Wednesday. Because I feel that if we look at Wednesdays as whatever it takes, it really does kind of boost us up. And it's like, okay, what is it going to take to finish this week strong? Like that's what it does for me. But I'd love to know if you agree or if you disagree, because you know we're all connected for a reason, and so many times we can learn from each other. And I think that's the beauty of being connected. I think that's the beauty of having social media, and in having connection points that we can meet people that we didn't know before and learn from them and disagree with some of them and full heartedly agree with others. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'm always interested in listening. So, like I said, please send me a DM, put it in the comments, and I wish everyone a happy and blessed Wednesday evening. Happy and blessed Thursday for all of my connections and friends over in our future in the Australia, New Zealand area. All right, everyone, take care.